welcome back to Flip of a Coin, the docu-series. I'm Jamie, and we are on episode 5. Today, I have my friend Alex, who just wanted to come on and share briefly about his story. His story involves steroids and what led him to start using steroids, as well as how he felt on the steroids, and now, luckily, he is completely clean. As always, make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and comment down below in that little box if you want to come on and share your story. No story in the mental health world is unimportant, because one of the biggest things with mental health and the stigma is that so many people are so afraid to talk about their stories. And even just coming out and saying, I had an addiction problem, you are helping to break that stigma and helping to stand up for yourself and not be ashamed of what you have gone through. You don't have to be locked in your past. It's never too late to start over and to turn a disability into an ability. So just a reminder, never be ashamed of who you are, and that every single story is important. So definitely make sure to comment down below if you want to share your story. This is a completely judgment-free channel and a judgment-free zone, and hopefully we will get to a judgment-free world. So are you ready to jive? Because we're on to episode 5. So everyone give a warm welcome to my friend Alex. Alex, say hi.
Hi.
So Alex, first of all, just tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, what do you like to do, etc.
Yeah, so I'm from Kentucky originally, but I don't have like a memory of being there. I've lived in Florida most of my life, and I currently work as a computer programmer. So,
I didn't know you were from Kentucky.
yeah, Louisville.
Oh wow! So you moved here when you were really young.
Yeah.
Yeah. So have the memory of Florida. I get it.
Mhm.
So what made you want to do an interview today?
Because I kind of had a story, with like a addiction through like a doctor, but still it had a big impact on my life, and I just kind of wanted to share that here today.
Well, first of all, I want to say you're very brave for sharing your story, and hopefully can be a role model to anyone who is struggling with any kind of addiction. So, going on that, I'll let you kind of start talking about your story.
So I was in like bodybuilding, and I was doing it naturally originally, and like with anyone who gets into that you know area, they have a tendency to want to like do more and more and more. So I pretty much like reached out to a doctor and got on HRT, and ultimately, like long story short, I got addicted to like this medication and had just all kinds of like issues, mainly psychological issues on them, but then also like coming off. So
So, if you don't mind elaborating, while you were on them, was it, when you say psychological, like depression, anxiety?
yeah, I would say more anxiety and anger, of course, but like anxiety because basically the medication increases like your energy, okay, and that caused more anxiety because like there's more of those like hormones in your body. That led to like all kinds of like social issues and like me not wanting to like go out, and adding that to like working on the computer, it just turned into depression as well because I didn't really have a social life.
Did you deal with anxiety and or depression before you started the steroid?
I think I did, but I didn't really like know what it was. I think I was just like down in a mood at times, and that mood lasted longer than it should have, and I never really put two and two together. This is depression.
So did you ever, when you were bodybuilding, have that, I guess, insecurity about like your body image that also led you to want to take it?
Yes, and I think that was like where it came from. Like I think, like you're saying, the whole body image thing was like the start. I got into it. I saw some results, and then I wanted to just look better. But at the time, I looked great, so it was just like a bad combination.
And I'm just asking because I've struggled with anorexia and also when you saw yourself like before you started taking it, was it just your body wasn't living up to your own expectations or did you not see yourself the way others did? I'm just curious like what you were thinking.
Yeah, I mean, I think my expectations were too high,
Hmm.
and like that was like the cause. I also compared myself to people as well, and social media probably helped because I would follow a bunch of like people who were like a lot bigger than me, and then I start comparing, and one thing leads to the next.
I'm guilty of that too, especially right after I was in, as you know, a car accident earlier this year that I got 7 bulging discs in my spine and I couldn't dance. And I would see on like Instagram and Facebook all my friends dancing and performing, and it literally put me in such a bad depression. So yeah, social media can definitely, once you do that and compare, it can be very detrimental to yourself.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's a good thing to be aware of and always know there's not like the perfect picture, with Photoshop nowadays and everything.
Right, and like perfection is just like an opinion versus like fact.
Exactly. Exactly. So, how long were you actually on it for?
About 3 years.
3 years. So, what was, I guess, the turning point that made you decide to come off of it?
When I started to realize that, or like when I started to think I need this versus this is like something I'm using to like reach a goal. When it turned into like this has to be part of my life.
Hmm. At the beginning, you said that getting off of it was caused like psychological problems too. So, maybe elaborate on how that was getting off of it.
It was horrible. Like you come off, and like I came off everything cold turkey, so like your whole body just shuts down, and it's like a car turning off and then having to start back up again. Low energy, low like hormones, which caused significant amount of like depression and just like bad thoughts.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So when you did have those bad thoughts and the depression and stuff, what are some coping mechanisms or things that helped you get through it?
I would say music. Rihanna is like my favorite artist. Uh, and working out and reading were like the three main things for me.
Oh, good. I'm glad you were able to find a coping mechanism that worked for you. As far as how you're doing today, I know that you're completely clean now. So I'm wondering, looking at yourself now versus looking at yourself when you were, on that drug, maybe just like say how it feels, like the difference and everything.
It's freedom, because it's no longer like you're no longer tied into anything. Like it's not part of your life. You don't have to worry about, you know, am I running out? It's like it's just gone. It's no longer like a handicap that you have in your life. So it feels great.
Good. How long are you clean now?
I'd say a few months.
Oh,
So
good, good. So, for anyone, let's say, who is feeling insecure about their body or is maybe currently on a steroid, what are some words of wisdom that you would say based on your own experience with it?
yeah, don't do it, pretty much. It might be legal, you might be like perfectly healthy, like having a doctor look at you, but you're only like cheating yourself and you're only hurting yourself in the long run. So don't do it.
Oh, great. Well, Alex, thank you so much for sharing your story. and for being so open about it. I know that it's not easy. Never easy sharing sharing the story. But I also do want to ask about stigma. And have you ever felt stigmatized by either thinking like, did you ever feel stigmatized either about body image or about actually being on the medication or going through a depression?
Uh, at times, yes, but I feel like the stigma is more like how you live.
So what do you think that us as a society, because I do know with, workplaces and coworkers and I mean even family members, they can pose a stigma, whether you want to believe it's there or not. Um, I think it's great to change how your view of stigma. But what would you say, I guess, to society as a whole? Like, what do you think that society can do to help break that stigma and be more understanding of these kind of illnesses?
Uh, that right there, just like be more understanding.
Understanding.
Yeah, like we can start enforcing laws and just make changes within like regulations, but ultimately it's just being more open that people are going to be different. So
Yeah, that's why I think even coming on for a few minutes and talking about your story is amazing because a lot of people can't do that because of that, either that stigma or they're ashamed of it or whatever the reason is. So I definitely think being understanding and being honest and being open about it is crucial. Again, Alex, thank you so much for coming on today and talking about your story. And I'm going to end with a quote that not only relates to addiction, but also to anything that anyone's going through is that you never have to be held hostage by your past. And that's very true, very true. Well, Alex, have a great rest of your week, and I will see you soon. So thank you so much to Alex for coming on and sharing a little glimpse of his story. I know that mental illness in men can be even more stigmatized than mental illness in women, and especially when you get into the topic of body image with men, that is a huge stigma in the mental health community. And I think it was very important that he talked about that being his reason for getting on the steroid, because it can be very hard for men if they don't like how they look or they set too high of expectations for themselves. So big shout out to Alex. I know that wasn't easy to talk about, and if anyone is struggling with any kind of addiction or self-image, just know that you are not alone. I myself have struggled and still struggle with anorexia. Never be afraid to share your story. Never be ashamed. Take pride in what you've gone through. It's made you who you are today. It's made you stronger. And please just know that it is okay to reach out and get help, whether that's through a friend, a family member, professional help. It is okay to ask for help. Thank you everyone again on joining me on this journey. There are plenty of more episodes to come, so make sure you subscribe. Don't forget to like and also share this video and my channel with anyone who you think could benefit from it. And also please feel free to comment down below with any suggestions that you may have on any kind of topic that you want to learn more about, and I'll be happy to make a video about that. I think it's very important for us as a culture to not only know about the mental illnesses that are around, but also to understand them and be informed about them. I hope you all have a phenomenal rest of your week. Stay strong, and I'll see you next time.